And telescopes here in beautiful Woodland Hills.
Right.
It's we're experiencing June gloom outside, which is actually kind of nice because it's been hot in Southern California.
Right.
But it's a normal weather pattern here, so to be expected. And today we're here to. I'm here with Simon Tang. Simon is a very experienced astrophotographer. He's done some beautiful work. And some of it has been with this Comet Hunter telescope.
Yeah. I actually done stuff with the Comet Hunter. I don't know if you can see the screen in the background over there. That's actually one of the pictures I took. I will show a full version of it.
We can move that over.
So there it is.
There it is. Yeah, yeah. So it's a little bit of glare because we've got like some studio lighting going on here. But
no expenses spared this time around,
that's
right?
right? It's a full-on production. But we're just here to talk to all you guys. The Comet Hunter is a telescope that it was a dream that I had to do with David Levy for a long time. I worked. Some of you guys know that I work for Mead Instruments, and I worked there for over 20 years. And one of the projects that David and I talked about for a long time, and I could never get it to fly at Mead for whatever reason, was to develop a telescope with David Levy.
Right.
And so so when I started my company, one of the first things I did is I made a beeline to his house in Vail, Arizona, and we started talking about it. And so we made this. He made this list of all these things it had to do. He said the scope had to do obviously wide field, so you could search for comets with it. It had to be a good telescope for astrophotography. It had to be good for planets. You know, he just went down this list and I was going, well, David, you know, you're asking for something that does everything, okay?
Right.
So I went back to the factory where we develop all of our stuff, and we started looking at refractors, you know, and that was going to be too expensive for a beginner, you know, I mean, a real high-end you know, there are thousands or a couple of thousand at least. And then we started looking at Newtonian reflectors. And the Newtonian reflector, you know, with large central obstruction and all the rest of it, typically doesn't do the very best for planets.
Right,
you know?
because of the loss of contrast especially.
Exactly. And so also Newtonians, you know, you're always kind of tweaking the collimation and stuff more. So I was looking for something that would hold its collimation very well, be relatively low maintenance, something that was in a sealed tube, something that would do all the things that David said. And so we started looking at Maksutov Newtonians, you know, and that's where we arrive at the Comet Hunter.
Which, magically, we actually have one here.
That's right. And Woodland Hills Camera Telescope is right now the exclusive retailer for this product.
Right.
So you bought a very large inventory of these things, and you've been selling them quite well. The telescope has a carbon fiber tube. This was the first telescope I came out with that actually had carbon fiber. It's very lightweight, you know, which is the real benefit of carbon fiber. We included a dew shield. That's standard equipment with it. The thing I like about the carbon fiber too, well, although the outside's got lacquer on it, it looks beautiful, the inside is just painted carbon fiber.
Right.
So it's a nice textured, real dead finish, you know, which is so, you know, very anti-reflective. The telescope has, let's see if we can turn it here. Okay, so a Maksutov telescope. Dmitry Maksutov came up with the idea of having a spherical primary mirror, okay, with a corrector plate that pretty much matches the sphere. It's slightly different, okay, and this eliminates spherical aberration. So that's what you get with the spherical mirror.
So you don't need like a coma corrector or any of that kind of stuff. It is a all-in-one system, essentially.
That's right. That's right. It's an f4.8, so it's relatively flat field. Okay, so you're not going to need a flat field adapter for it. And with the Maksutov design, typically the secondary obstruction's not as big as some others.
That's right.
You know, so that's the system, and there's been some great astrophotos taken with it.
Yeah, totally.
So what do you feel the scope is best at?
Well, this is the interesting thing. If you're looking for an astrograph setup, this thing, because it collects light at an f4.8, it cuts down your image acquisition per se. So one of the things I like to use this on is galaxies, funny enough, because it actually works incredibly well with that. It's a very, very faint object in general, and I don't have to sit there doing 10-minute exposures or anything crazy like that. I can kind of cut it down. I can do 5 minutes, I can get away with 3 minutes. With Andromeda on this guy, you can do 1 minute exposures, no problem. And it's shocking what you can actually pull from this. One of the features about this is the actual collimation. This cap comes off.
Right.
That allows you to collimate it. And one of the things that differs from most Maksutov Cassegrain telescopes, or Newtonian, should I say, is the collimation screws. These are done by hand.
Yeah,
you
no
don't
tool.
actually have to have the tool, because that can be a problem. If you're fumbling around in the dark with a hex wrench, it's absolute
big
nightmare.
Pain. Absolute big pain in the butt, for sure. For sure. Also, we have collimation on
the back for the primary mirror.
But if you look at the back, let's flip that around. Ooh. There we go. All these Explore Scientific telescopes here getting in the way. On the back, it's got no tool knobs up here for adjusting, but then you are going to need an Allen wrench because you can lock these things.
Yes.
And having a locking system on the back for that larger primary mirror is nice, because it holds the collimation extremely well. And most of us are going over, some bumpy roads or whatever, trying to get some dark sky sight or whatever.
Although, having said that, though, even with the construction of this particular scope, even if you're traveling and bumping over a bunch of rocks and things like this, this thing still holds its collimation, which is actually more important in some ways. Because sometimes I might get to the location and I don't have a lot of time to do anything. Collimation, if it's really whacked out, can take you 30 minutes, 40 minutes and be frustrating.
Yes, that's right.
So I've done...
And depending on how tired you are or whatever,
yeah, exactly.
Sometimes that happens, so...
Now, I've had one of these guys before, and I will admit something. I don't handle my equipment with much care. I do manhandle these things. This is one of the things I liked about it.
Picked it up and threw it in the car?
I really abuse my equipment like you wouldn't believe. But you'd be so surprised how much abuse this thing can take. And one of the things I love, and this is the same thing with all Explore Scientific scopes, is the handle.
Yeah.
That is, to me, one of the best things since sliced bread, as far as I'm concerned. It makes so much sense to have a handle. And again, here's one of the carbon fiber 127s. It has a handle.
Yeah, you'll notice that the handle's got a slot in it, and you can put a 1/4-20 bolt up in there, and then you can mount, a DSLR or whatever you want to up on top.
Exactly. So. If you're doing guide scopes and guide things like that, again, you can utilize the bar with having two screws going through it.
Right.
I have seen people replace these with dovetails, but you kind of lose having the handle.
The grip, yeah. That's right, and it's contoured and everything. It's got little thumb things here, so it makes it easy to hold this. So yeah, I like that. I like that feature as well. We have a couple of shoes here for attaching finders or whatever up in the front or in the back. The scope's very lightweight. You can use it on a very modest mount,
We actually have it on the...
That's the Exos 2.
The Exos 2.
Right.
This is actually one of the cheapest EQ mounts on the market. Explorer Scientific produces these. They come in all different variations. They're great for beginners to intermediate, or if you want something that's just lightweight, easy, and portable. Very, very straightforward to set up.
Right.
One thing I will mention is this is not strictly an astrograph. You can do visual astronomy with this.
Oh, sure.
And the way they get around here is the tube itself has been shortened for astrophotography purposes.
Right.
But what you can also do with the hex focuser is unscrew this part of the cap, and they actually come with all the extension tubes.
Right.
I don't have any on this particular one because they're hiding from me
Yeah,
right
but
now.
they're just the same diameter length, and so depending on what combination of Barlow focal extender, eyepieces, whatever, you're completely covered with this telescope. I've even seen this thing set up with a bino viewer on it. I don't know if you've ever tried that, but
with a Barlow, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
I haven't actually tried it without the Barlow. I don't know if it was something that I'm not a big, here's my problem, okay? I'm not a big visual observer. Anybody who knows me will say, like, this guy don't do visual, what's he talking about? So I haven't actually tried it yet, in all honesty. I know Daniel will probably have a lot of fun doing something like this.
Right, yeah. I saw one at the Winter Star Party when we first developed this, and the guy had it set up with, I think, some Dankmeyer final viewers, and really excellent views. That night, we had sub-arc second seeing. If any of you have been to the Winter Star Party, it's usually very, very good weather. Sometimes it can get a little sketchy. We had a little tornado one year, but no one got hurt, you know.
Okay,
so,
good.
yeah. The guy was using bino viewers, and we were looking at Jupiter with it, and it was just amazing.
Oh,
you
wow.
know? So
that would be something good to see.
It was amazing. So,
in terms of customization with the scope, how customizable is the actual scope? Like, if I wanted to change the shoes, or could I change the focuser?
Sure, you could. You know, you can buy aftermarket focusers. You could buy like a Feather Touch if you wanted to. Getting into the scope's relatively easy. We've got hex screws that hold the front cell on, or the back cell. They just come off. If you're going to do that, I'm going to recommend that you mark, maybe use like a grease pencil or something, mark the rotational positions so that everything fits up and lines up right. And then you can, you know, if you want a fancier focuser on it, or if you want to change the shoes on it, carbon fiber is very easy to drill into if you need to add additional holes. One of the other things I'll tell you is if you scratch the tube, this has got several layers of lacquer on it. If you scratch the tube, and if it's not a super deep scratch,
It doesn't really
well,
change
you can take a heat gun and you can just run it over where the scratch is, and it erases.
Wow.
It's amazing, you know, so you don't have to go and try to polish the scratch out or whatever. The lacquer will actually run into the scratch, and it'll look perfect. So
Awesome.
Yeah, so we've done that. Other features of the scope, it does actually have a David Levy. That is his signature. It looks the same on every one because it's it's part of the nameplate.
I've actually known people to actually get this genuinely signed.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
David will sign them.
all the time.
If you send them over to David, he will in fact sign those. But you know, it's been a wonderful telescope. You know, there's some feeling that after you sell the remainder of these, that they're all gone.
Oh, yeah, that's the scary part.
Yeah. So if you want a Comet Hunter, if you've been thinking about it, you know, you definitely want to come to Woodland Hills to come and buy one, and they have them on sale right now. So
That's right. Before we get into that, though, talk about the warranty.
Oh, yeah.
So here's the thing. This is why, me personally, I've loved Explorer Scientific from the get-go. Why? Because of the warranty, the fact that I get to talk to Scott. He's not always the guy that answers the phone, obviously, but you know, if I have a problem, they will go out of their way to solve my problem, even from my perspective as the retailer. So when you receive the scope, if anything is wrong, that's their number one thing. They will rectify it. But now, if I was the guy who bought it, I've had this for, say, 6 months.
Yeah.
Where do I stand? Because that's a common question I get about warranty.
Okay. Well, this has a forever, no fault, transferable warranty. But you got to register it. If you don't register this,
you don't get
then you don't get that warranty. We'll cover it for, you know, we have a grace period for like a couple of months. But if you don't register it, and I'm dumbfounded sometimes that people do not register this product, okay? But register it and you get a forever warranty.
Lifetime.
No, past your lifetime, okay? You
changed.
fall in the grave, okay? But you sell it. It's in a will or something like that, and your lawyer has the serial number or something like that, and it's given to your grandson or whoever it is, okay? Or, they get the warranty.
There you go. So it's transferable.
It's transferable.
So now remember, the serial number is on every single scope.
Yeah.
That's how they know.
Yes.
So again, when you get one of these guys, make sure you register it and take advantage of the lifetime warranty, even when Scott Roberts is no longer here.
The forever warranty.
Even when he's not here anymore, it'll still be active. And I guarantee you, it sounds like the universe could be ending, and there will still be one of
That's
these
right.
guys
Once
floating around.
the Milky Way is getting swallowed up by a black hole, when you come
Exactly.
out the other side,
They'll just be
whatever that is, okay,
Yep.
that guy gets the warranty.
Exactly.
Okay. They just do have to bring it back to the warehouse or our facilities.
still there.
Have to go back into time to do that somehow.
Well, that's where you could use the black hole to go back in time.
That's right.
We do
And now
know
that
it's
we've
strong.
imaged a black hole, okay, we're just steps away now from
Exactly.
doing something with black holes. I don't know what it is.
So now here's the scary part for everybody
Okay.
out there and watching on Facebook is
Right.
how much? What is the price on this? What are we going to do to make you buy it?
Well, it was already at a crazy low price, like $6.99.
And we're about to go even crazier.
You went crazier. I don't know exactly how crazy that is right now. I think it's like $670 or something. It's still a less price through the end of the month. So,
Right. Now, even if you compare with other Maksutov Newtonians, from a price standpoint, you still can't beat this from the performance and in terms of the quality. So that's one of the things about it. And no one, and I mean no one, is going to offer a lifetime registered warranty like Scott Roberts.
That's true. That's true. We're the only ones that. Okay, so we talked about the forever warranty. What happens if you're up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning? You're done imaging. You start up the car. You get ready to leave, and you hear a horrible crunch behind your car,
Oh, because you ran it over.
and you ran over the scope.
Well, he might have done that. I've never done that yet.
Now I have actually seen that happen at
you
star
have?
parties. Yeah,
No
people
way.
have destroyed their telescopes, Schmidt-Cassegrain refractors, whatever. Because they're what I call star drunk. They're just up too late, and they think, oh, I got to get back home. I
Right.
can't let the sun rise. They should have let the sun rise, okay? Because they've destroyed their telescope, and I've seen people just practically come to tears. You hear the bad words and everything screaming out across the star party field. If that happened with one of our telescopes, because of our forever transferable, no fault warranty, you pick up the pieces, you ship the pieces to me, I give you a new telescope.
You heard that here first.
And we've
Straight
done it.
from the horse's mouth.
We've done it. Okay, so you remember that terrible fire that happened in Paradise,
Yes.
California? Gentleman lost. It was horrible. He lost his house. The fire was so intense it burned up everything. He finds two of his eyepieces, his Explore Scientific eyepieces. Puts them into a box. Called customer service. This guy registered, by the way.
Right.
Okay, which is nice. Sends them off to us, and we replace them with brand new ones.
What do you do with the old ones?
I have them in a glass case, actually,
Oh my gosh.
as a reminder of how far we will go. Okay, so I took the glass case with me to NEAF. I mean, these things burn so hot that the optical glass elements, it looked like a blue-green color inside of this.
Oh, so it actually kind of looks cool
It
too.
sort of looks cool, but also you can see how horrible and how hot it was.
Oh,
so,
right.
yeah. Yeah. So one of them just has like, I think that the entire aluminum top completely burned. So I can't imagine how hot that was. Okay. And all that was left was a stainless steel barrel. Okay.
Wow.
With some glass still encased
Sitting
in it.
inside
The other
of it.
one still had a barrel, but it was sort of slumped over, and so.
What about his scope? Did he have the scope?
Oh, he lost scopes. He lost
Oh,
a
boy.
tremendous amount of stuff. Yeah.
So remember that no fault,
no fault warranty. So,
including act of God, which is probably not covered by your own personal insurance.
right, right. So now, if you own one of these things and you did not register it, okay, or you own anything from Explore Scientific and you didn't register it, you can't. We have something new called Explore Alliance and the Explore Care, which is what it's called, and we can get you back into a warranty type program that will get you back in good graces. So,
Right.
So you just need to call customer service for that at Explore Scientific at 866-252-3811, or you can actually go through the store as well.
Yeah, of course you can.
So, and they will take care of you. But this program's new, and I was going to talk to you guys about it today. So, but it's coming
We'll
up.
get all the details. We'll send that out to you guys out
That's
there
right.
too.
That's right. So anyhow,
See,
I think that's it. You know,
Yeah.
this is the scope, vetted by David Levy, a dream scope for me. David actually uses this for scanning for comets. You know, when he
yeah, this
has
is.
his
I
little-
gotta say this. This isn't something that is complete marketing. This is actually a genuine thing that he actually uses. This is not
right.
something that we made up.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it wasn't just like label slapping with a famous
Right.
astronomer, which he, by the way, is. But you know, David was very strict on what he wanted, and he wanted to be able to use it. So if you go to the Jarnac Observatory in Vail, Arizona, you're going to see a Comet Hunter set up.
Yeah,
So.
it really is there. It really is being used.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the scope is it's like an exclusive club you're joining almost. You know, it's not that there are not many of them out there. There are quite a few people who use this scope who absolutely love it. And it's just a testament to the quality and the performance behind something as cool as this.
Right.
And the fact that it's really used by an actual astronomer, a professional one, not just people like me.
Yep.
You
That's
know,
right.
it's-
A comet discoverer, anyways. David's got over 20 comets
yeah.
discovered. He didn't discover any with this, but he searches all the time. And
Not this particular one.
yeah, not this. He's got, I don't know, 20 telescopes or whatever. But he does in fact use the telescope. He loves the telescope. It's been a great astrograph. It's good for planets. You know, if you're looking for your first maybe serious telescope, you're not ready to spend a couple of grand on a tube assembly, but you want something that's very, very nice. You know, a reflector telescope shows no secondary color, so you're going to get Apo-like performance.
Exactly.
Okay. The secondary obstruction small enough for you to get good contrast with it. Once you get into photography, what kind of camera, by the way, would you suggest for this?
I actually would say nothing larger than APS-C.
Okay.
On any sensor size. This does mean if you put a full frame camera in there, it's not that it doesn't work. It does work. You will get vignetting in the corners.
Okay.
So ideally APS-C size and below is the best solution. You can actually attach a filter wheel to all of this.
Okay.
So it actually has the back focus, funny enough. So you can put any of the ZWO, QHY, QSI, you name them, whatever camera you want can be attached to this with the filter wheel. You just have to remove the extension tubes and it does reach focus. And again, it's an f4.8,
Right.
so it really does cut down on the exposure time, especially if you're doing RGB. You know, you can get data real fast.
Okay.
If you're doing H-alpha, on the other hand, on some of the dimmer objects, it is actually shocking what you can pull out because we're dealing with actually a larger aperture in comparison to a regular refractor, for example. I mean, the performance behind this is not so dissimilar to, say, like a 150 or the 152 from Explorer Scientific.
That's true.
But the killer part here is it isn't as big, it's not as long.
It's a fraction of the price.
Exactly, and it is a fraction of the price. That's why, you know, we've always been a champion with these. That's why Woodland Hills chose to do the exclusive, because we don't want nobody else having this scope but us. Not even
And I was
Scott.
actually a little shocked that they
even
said,
Scott
how
was
many do
allowed
you
to."
have? And I'm not going to tell you the number because it was a lot, okay?
There's plenty.
But they
Plenty to go around.
They went and made the purchase, so that's excellent. There was a little bit of a rumor that that you were almost out of them, that they were almost all gone.
That's right, there was.
Right, and so we, you know, we checked on inventory. There's still inventory in
Yes.
stock, okay? But there were people suddenly came out of the woodwork. You know, they've been, you know, I call them, you know, I don't know, armchair astronomers or whatever, because they're waiting and waiting and waiting. You know, they kind of know what they want, and once they figure out, oh, this is now going to disappear.
Yep.
Suddenly they want one. Okay,
Right.
so.
Well, it's not a, this is, I'm going to say this very carefully over on, especially on the Facebook, guys. This is not something that you kind of want to wait on, okay? We know how many we have, but I'm telling you now, if you wait too long, there are not going to be
Yeah,
any
one
left.
day they're going to be gone,
Yeah.
and they will really be gone. So
So yeah, there will only...
you'll be buying them at premium price on the secondary market,
Exactly.
probably. Yeah. So, you know, but and what will make them even more valuable is if the person registered it. Okay?
Exactly.
So that's what you want to
Lifetime
ask.
warranty.
Right. That's right.
No fault.
No fault. That's right. So what else can I say about it? The corrector plate, you know, coatings are important. So
Right.
we have enhanced coatings on the primary and secondary, and then we have a beautiful multi-coat on this corrector
So you
plate.
guys can see this,
On the
hopefully.
Maksutov
There we
corrector.
go.
Yep. And so it's a very subdued kind of, you know, a lot of the coatings you'll see like a bright green
Yep.
or you'll see something like that. I'll tell you a secret, guys. Multi-coatings and the colors is cosmetic,
Yep.
okay? And a lot of people go, what? That's cosmetic. Actually, if you could make a coating that had no color at all, that would be absolutely perfect, okay?
Exactly.
But no one does it because no one believes
There's a
that there's a
coating.
coating there if you can't see it, okay?
Right.
So manufacturers know that, and that's the reason why you see all these different colors that are out there. It's changed through the amount of vacuum and temperature that you apply to the elements that are coating this. We choose a deep, you know, violet coating, okay, so that you can look at it and you go, yeah, there's a coating on there.
something there.
There's something there, but you know, it doesn't show up. Bright green coatings, your eye's very sensitive to green, okay.
And
You'll
you'll
see
see it.
the secondary color of that kind of thing. When I was at Mead Instruments, we tried an experiment. We for about 6 months we did zero color, perfect multi-coating on the corrector plate. You will not believe how many telescopes came back, okay?
'Cause they were
Because we
complaining?
could not convince them.
That
We
there
could
was-
not convince the customer that this was a real coating, you know. And
You see, okay, so now here's an interesting way to dispel something as crazy as this. If you actually add any type of additive, for lack of a better description, to change the color of the coating, whether you like it or not, that color will manifest itself. in
at some point,
shape or form.
that's true.
So
That's true.
here's the thing. This is something that you guys need to start getting accustomed to, especially if we move to clear coating, is get used to it.
Well,
Believe
not
and
even
trust.
Carl Zeiss will do it.
No,
you know?
Carl Zeiss actually. So here's that's a famous
Right.
thing actually. Carl Zeiss has coatings, and they have a sample that they will show off all the time. But one thing that you'll never notice is never any color on it, because they do not want anything tinting the colors.
Right.
Now, let's just say we were using this and we were shooting, say, a galaxy. If I have a very sensitive and a very good high quality CCD camera, the last thing I want is for something that changes the color ever so slightly. And I've noticed this. This isn't like an achromat. It's not going to make the colors separate.
No, this is not chromatic aberration.
It's something that will just
It's a
ever
hue,
so slightly
a very slight
tint,
hue. Yeah.
and it won't be true white. Now, for some of you, you're probably going to not care. It's not going to mean much.
Yeah.
But it does mean something. It does mean I'm not getting a true representation of what the light should really be.
Yes. But you're not going to find a single camera lens out there that has the zero color, okay? You're not going to find any telescope manufacturer that will do it, okay? You know, if one day we get a groundswell of people saying, hey, we want a zero color coating, okay?
Which we should be asking for.
Which you should be asking for, then that's something that the manufacturers would start to do. But
Right.
Without the color, most people think
There's nothing
there's
on there.
nothing, there's no coatings, you know, and
Nope.
that's a problem. So we go for something that's very, very subdued, okay?
Very subtle.
Yeah, so you'll see the coating on it. I think it looks cool. I mean, it looks beautiful and everything, but I know as someone that's into optics that this is something that you would ultimately truly want. And
Well, I was going to say,
when I was at Mead, I was the one that said, "Hey, we should do perfect coatings," you know.
that's the thing I've always been about coatings is I've always sat there and wondered, why does it have this funky color? And I'm actually nervous sometimes, even when I'm just doing regular daytime photography. Does this actually affect my image performance? Well, strictly speaking, the answer is no. But if you were actually to do lab tests, the answer is yes. It really
Yes.
does tint
right.
ever so slightly.
That's right. So you want to stay away from coatings that are like overly green.
Yes.
Okay. overly orange. The truly horrible coatings out there. You remember the binoculars that came out? They had like
boy.
ruby, chrome type of coatings, and then you look through them and everything looks sort of green. You know, you could see.
You can see what it's doing.
So that's something to.
So just so you guys
understand.
understand, why do they coat these particular optics, and why does Scott use this particular type of coating? It's actually, a lot of it is from anti-reflective and diffraction purposes, which we're actually going to be covering on a later video at some point. So I'd love to have you back to do that, because I know you love optics and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, I do.
The way that it's all set up, the design, the type of coating he uses is anti-reflective and diffraction. The idea here is he wants to give the most pure image you can possibly get through the scope without having to worry about all these weird aberrations that you might get. One less thing in the imaging tray that we've got to solve.
You just want to maximize the contrast, and that's what's happening here. So, you know, more light's going to transmute through these optics, and this is an enhanced multi-layer deposition coating. We call them EMD coatings. It's on both sides of the corrector plate. You know, with the enhanced aluminum surfaces as well, you're getting a very bright image, a lot of performance, you know, out of the 6 inches of aperture. So,
now, one thing we haven't actually mentioned is cleaning. So, I've heard horror stories where people trying to clean their corrector plates and stuff like that, and the solutions and liquids that they use will say they'll dissolve the coatings off of this. I actually haven't had that problem yet.
No.
Not with this, at least, anyway.
Actually, that is a problem that I haven't seen recently on telescopes. But you've been doing astronomy for a long time, that problem is because the coating is soft.
Right.
All right. A soft coating. All right. So when you do a coating, and if you are a coating technician, one of the things you're supposed to do is you take one of the pieces, because you're coating many optics at the same time. You take one of the pieces, you take tape, and you rub it onto the, you know, so you got a good sticky surface, and then you rip it off to see if it's going to take the coating off.
Right.
Okay. If it does, that means that you had like a layer of contamination between the glass and the coating material itself, okay? Or you just didn't do that coating right somehow, okay? So you had coating lift, okay? If with soft coatings, if you're using, I mean, professional lens cleaning solutions,
it shouldn't come off.
It shouldn't come off, but if it's soft, it will. And you wipe it, and it's like, oh my God, what happened here?
Yep.
Okay, and you see like this smear of colors, and it ain't going away. Okay.
Well, it's getting worse.
It's getting worse, right? It's time to turn it into the manufacturer, because they.
Now that's the interesting. I have not ever had that with a single scope that I've ever had from you.
No.
Not even on the Comet Hunter.
Yeah, we have good coating machines. We got guys that know what they're doing.
See?
So, yeah.
Again, this just goes to show Scott isn't just a salesman trying to sell you a pair of shoes. He's a telescope person.
I do have some old shoes, though, if you would like.
Yeah, he's wearing them right now, actually. No, he's not. But yeah, so again, you know that because Scott actually has experience, he knows what he's doing, you know you're going to get a good piece of equipment.
Yeah, I want people to have an honest piece of equipment that isn't going to cost them a fortune.
Right.
Something that they can actually go and enjoy this hobby, because what I'm most interested in is people going out and exploring the sky and really having those experiences that, you know, that transform you, that really make you change the way that you think about your world, your universe, you know, and to be able to have a connection with all of that, you know, and when you have that connection, when this happens to people, and I see it happen, it's like they go over the tipping point and suddenly all their problems shrink, because they realize, wow, I am flying on this little tiny planet, going through space, you know. It is amazing that we can look out and explore the universe, and I can do it myself. You know, this isn't just something for academia. This isn't just something for the professionals.
Right.
This is something you can do in your own backyard, and you can make beautiful, extraordinary astrophotographs. You can even do science. You know, we got people doing science with our telescopes, which is a lot of fun. It's really fascinating to learn about. We have a team right now doing exoplanet work. With,
I've heard that, yep.
Right, so Jerry Hubble, who's on our team, just recently got accepted to the TESS professional teams, and those guys are doing professional exoplanet work.
Wow.
Okay, so he looked at a science paper that was put out about using the special diffuser. Okay, they were using on like 8-meter telescopes. Okay, he bought the same material. Okay, put it in a 1 1/4 inch filter holder, and we did a live Facebook. He actually captured the light curve of I think it was called HAT P16, something like that.
So he actually saw the transit occurring.
Yeah, we did it live.
Oh, wow.
We did it live, and he did it on the first time. I was not aware. I thought we were just going to do a demonstration and just kind of talk about the, how to do it.
Right.
I didn't know we were doing it for real at the time.
Wow.
Okay. And he comes back and he goes, "Well, look, we got data here, and then he cleans up the data and he shows that he was getting millimag differences in the photometric, readings."
Right.
And that's what you need,
Yeah.
to really get, high level professional data. That's what the test team wants. They don't, and Jerry's doing it with a 6-inch telescope. Not this one, but this one could do it.
Yeah, it could do it,
It
actually.
could do it, right?
So for those of you at home, what we're talking about is the dip in the light curve.
Yeah.
You'll probably see this in a lot of news articles and things like that, but you're looking for that part where the planet comes in front.
Yes.
And as it does that, the light curve dips down, and when it comes back out the other side, it comes back up.
Yeah.
So that's basically what we were just talking about, to simplify it.
And so what they can learn from that is the size of the planet, lots of characteristics. It's amazing what they were able to pull out of that data. And, when I think about the fact that, 25 years ago, the idea that there were planets around other stars was kind of like, well, we think so, but we don't know.
Right, we weren't sure, but
Not
now
sure. And then they found
we
one,
know.
and now they've discovered something like 2,000 or 3,000 of them. The test group is doing more research on these things. The fact that you can do this with a backyard telescope, okay,
Right,
with a whole astrophotographic system with a mount and the scope and a decent camera and free software out there. Most of the
Right.
software is free, okay. You can be doing professional level exoplanet photometry, okay, and actually contributing, getting your name on a science paper.
Exactly.
So, yep.
So when's the next time Scott Roberts is going to be out and about so people can come and find you and start bugging you?
Well, I'm always kind of out and about, but my next events that I'll be at, this is, we've got the eclipse coming up in July 2nd.
Yep.
So
It's not here, it's in South America.
Yeah, right. So I'm going to be in Chile at the Cerro Tololo Observatory. Okay, so I'll be with the, I don't know if you've heard of them, but it's called the Exploratorium Group up in San Francisco.
Right.
They have kind of a professional eclipse chasing team, and they do, often they do live broadcasts of the eclipse and stuff. So, and they've done many of these things. This is now my second time to go with them. Okay, so I'm really excited. Once I get back from that, I will be up at the Ronald Reagan Library at the in Simi Valley.
Which is here in California.
Here in California,
Woo!
that's right. And there is there's the Apollo 50th gala that's happening with Buzz Aldrin. Okay, and so Buzz Aldrin is having me at this event. So we are. We have a telescope. It's going to be a 5-inch ED-APO and all this stuff as part of the silent auction that will be there. Tickets are a little pricey at this thing. They start at $1,000 to go to this.
Not surprising.
It's not surprising, right? But it's historic. It's Buzz Aldrin will be there. Many other famous astronauts will be there. Gary Sinise, or Sinise, or
the actor.
The actor.
Gary Sinise.
Sinise. Okay,
Yeah.
so
he went to Mars.
yeah, that's right. He's going to be emceeing the event, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Really exciting.
Do you know what? Speaking of Gary Sinise, if you put these two together, Gary and Scott, you'd swear they're brothers.
Really?
You almost look alike. In fact, you could probably pass
I've never
yourself
seen
off.
him in person, so I'll get to meet him maybe.
Oh, you've never met him?
No, I've never met him. So.
Oh, you're going to be surprised, actually. You
Okay.
guys look alike.
Okay, well that's cool.
You don't believe me? Google him. Google Scott Roberts. You might find the picture of him.
Gary's
standing
watching
next
this
to
right
me
now going, there's
telescope.
no way I look
And
as
then
bad
Gary
as this
Sinise
dude.
is like, what the hell? So, just to wrap up, we are going to be back on the live stream. We're going to be talking about eyepieces.
Eyepieces, we'll do that today.
So, Yeah, so when you get a chance, check back on our site. We will be putting the promo up live on the Comet Hunter. Remember, there are only so many left. When you buy it, don't forget to register
And
it
they're
for
on
your
sale.
lifetime
They have them on.
warranty. Yeah, it's going to be on another sale.
This thing, when I first brought it out, it was like $1,500.
It was $1,500?
Yes.
My God, when I saw it, it was $799.
Right. Yeah. So you guys have always had a super duper price on them.
Right.
You know. So, and they're the only guys in the whole universe that have them at this point. So
That actually makes it one of the cheapest Mac Newts out there.
period.
Yeah.
Period.
That is
That's
crazy.
Right. That's right. With the best warranty ever. So
When you register it.
when you register it, don't forget.
All right,
Anyways,
guys.
thanks for watching,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys on the live stream.
That's right. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.